Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening for another very special edition of WOWSA Live. We're here with two English Channel swimmers who have done many things around the world in the open water, Antonio Arguelles and Marcos Diaz. They are both members, honor swimmers in the International Marathon Swimming Hall of Fame. Welcome, Marcos.
Hello, Steven. Hello, Antonio, and hello to all the followers and viewers in this very important channel for open water swimming.
Yes, and both of you gentlemen have really done an unbelievable job being ambassadors of the sport, both in your own country and around the world. But Marcos, you and I were talking about your English Channel success early on, success and attempts. Can you tell us that story of how you eventually?
Yes, Steven. I joke a lot about that because it was for me like if you did a 1,000 meters climb and then after that you want to do Everest. That was my story within the English Channel. So I had to pay that price of being naive about the whole thing. And I was telling you that I did my first marathon swim. I couldn't get into my desire was to compete. Okay, but I couldn't reach to any event that would allow me to compete. So actually, the first thing we created was some sort of a event at home with enough distance, so that will actually assure me an entry at an event. Okay. So my coach said, "Well, the most famous swim in open water swimming is actually the English Channel, which is about 35 to 38 Ks." So we say, okay, let's do then as 37 Ks. So imagine I'm comparing only the distance, something completely wrong when you talk about open water and all the variables. Yeah. So we did that swim and we brought like a judge from the Caribbean. Actually, it was not a marathon swimming judge, but a swimming. And so he had like a FINA certification. He said, okay, you never touched the boat. Everything was under the rules. And then we sent that to a couple of events. And then I was accepted a couple of weeks later into the Tampa Bay swim. Okay. So when I competed in that one, everything around the swimmers there was all about English Channel. So for me, from there, it was okay. So what's next? English Channel. So you can imagine that was 2002, 2003, with absolutely no knowledge about cold water. For everyone, I live in the Caribbean, in the heart of the Caribbean, Dominican Republic. I am right now in the North Coast. My home is in Santo Domingo, the South. Okay. So I'm always in the water. I went into open water marathon swimming after a career in pool swimming, then in triathlon, surfing all my life, and then marathon swimming who catch my heart, my soul, my everything. And so we paid the price with 3 attempts in 2003, in which I went training to a very famous place, and I will recommend it to everyone who wants to train for cold water swims, which is San Diego, La Jolla, famous La Jolla Cove. I was impressed that close to 100 swimmers every day between triathletes and swimmers trained there. I happened to have my first contact with the marathon swimming community there and internationally, and many people who gave me lots of advices. And but we were already late into signing up with an ice core boat, and so 3 attempts, not being capable of finishing it. The last one, very interesting because that was the moment that we realized everything related to variables in which open water swimming, not necessarily your longest is the toughest or the shortest is the easiest, right? Yes. So I did many plus 50 Ks, and I will always remember a shorter one's the toughest. Because first attempt was 6.5 hours, just passing the middle of the international waters. Then the second one with spring tide, swimming at like 2 a.m. First attempt at a night event for me was life-changing. And it was pushing me all the way. I was halfway in under 4 hours. So my coach and everyone say, oh, we're not only crossing it, we're going the world record. 2 hours later, I would have moved 1 kilometer ahead in like 2.5 hours. After 7 hours, they pulled me out. I was aware, of course, but it was impossible to go forward. Then third attempt was 10 hours. Difficult, tough water, but we were advancing. But I couldn't handle the cold water. And I was put out, didn't remember absolutely anything. Really? I woke up in the harbor and I said, we made it. And they said, okay. So my way back home was actually, let's take the ferry. And with the GPS, I will let you know where you were pulled out.
Oh, really?
So next day we took the ferry and the conditions were perfectly flat. And then my coach says, okay, here you were stopped. And I'm like, oh my God, I wanted to jump from the boat and swim the last kilometer. So it took another year to come back. And actually, Steven, that other year, we had a lot of personal plans in terms of competing. Actually, it was my first FINA competition. I think you were there in Dubai for the World Open Water Swimming World Championships. And we have many other competitions in the area. So it was like, okay, now either we dedicate 2004 to make sure you can do the channel, or we have some sort of figure out what's another option. And by then, 2004, we figured out there was a Channel Crossing Association, a different name of association, who will allow me to do with a wetsuit. So I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to arrive just 5 days before my window. I'm in first position. And it was boom, 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 swimming the channel and coming back home. So it was not without, like I attempted on 2003, but at least I happened to have the opportunity to swim. And it was for me, and I will always, when I talk with young guys and athletes and in the schools, I said, for me, English Channel was not a sports experience. It was definitely a very personal experience that I will bring to every areas of my life. You know, like you think you are capable and then you face reality much larger than you. Then it takes a whole team. It takes friends from all around the world. It takes, you know, a humble attitude so that everybody can make opinion suggestions to you, learn from everyone, thank everyone. And that was extremely beautiful for me. And actually after the channel is where I basically started my open water swimming career, which is different than what everybody's used to do, is that they compete, they get experience, and then they do the channel. So I suggest to do it as I did not do it. Okay, I suggest to do it as everyone else.
I want to ask you on that 10-hour swim where you just swam and all of a sudden you wake up and you think you finished, but you didn't. Do you remember not remembering? I mean, you were swimming and all of a sudden, what happened?
Yes, I perfectly made a lot of thoughts about when, what, and I do remember that I gained a few pounds and I trained in the Cove and I arrived in Dover with like 25 days before my attempt. But for someone who lives in the Caribbean, I mean, immediately I will reach home a week. I'm back to skinny. I'm back to, being horrible in cold waters. But first attempt, 2003, there was a heat wave. Okay. And everybody who went from the west coast of the United States there, they were like, oh, so nice. The water is not even cold. For me, it was cold, but I could. The first attempt and the second attempt, I can totally know I was handling the cold. Then there was some days, then it got cloudy, rainy, and sun will never come out. And I remember that was a night attempt also, like 1 a.m. And I remember taking my clothes off to jump and swim to the shore. And I was shaking the moment I jumped in the water. So for me, there was, I don't know if by the first 2 attempts, I burned a lot of calories and then there was no sun. But I remember like, oh my God, I'm cold right now. It's not like I'm getting cold after 5 hours. I'm cold right now. So I started pushing. There was some rough oceans, but my coach was telling me, I think we can figure it out and make it. And yes, I remember and then back to knowing and just hoping we will touch the touch. And then I remember also, Steven, I had another cold water experience, but I managed to finish. I don't know how. That doing the competition of the swim around Manhattan, and I remember swimmers passing me, and I am unable to sprint. And I'm like fighting with my arms, and I'm unable. And then looking at my boat, and my coach and the crew is without a shirt. And then when I finished, I don't know how I finished. I say, I remember somebody without a shirt said, yes, we were about to jump in. And
oh, really?
yes. And somehow you make a left and finish. Because you know, in Manhattan, you're with the current.
Yeah.
You make a strong left to finish.
Yeah.
We were waiting to jump and pull you out, but you managed to make a left. And then I don't know how, Steven, I was climb up the stairs and I throw kisses to everybody. I don't remember anything.
Yeah. Can you tell us about that two lap swim around Manhattan? What year was that?
That was the year summer 2007.
Okay.
Summer of 2007. And that came, okay, the swimmer that got first place in 2002, Tampa Bay, a last name Dirks. He was an All-American.
Chris Dirks, yes. Very good swimmer.
So immediately he won, I jump into him, like congratulate him and saying, I train a lot. What did you do that you just passed me? And he said, oh, you're making stops in too long. I was stopping at 45 minutes and drinking a whole bottle. He said, no, every 15 minutes, 4 to 5 ounces. So he became some sort of a mentor through emails, sending me information, talking to me about English Channel and all of that. So I gained a lot of experience. And then 2005 or 6, I'm registered in Swim Around Manhattan, and I'm here with my friend Chris Dirks.
Got it.
Okay, so I am full prepared, and the whole race, it was me passing him and he passing me. Oh. Okay, so for me, it was very important because I was challenging him. And I remember one part, like when we were about to make a left in Hell's Gate. So that's between, for everyone to know, what's between East Side River to Harlem River.
Yeah.
Okay, and I remember to my coach, I said, let me go. I just want to push, let me go. He said, calm down. When we went from Harlem River to Hudson River, which is the last end, with the current very fast to the finish line, I started losing conscious, and I saw swimmers that I knew I was faster passing me, very close to me. I couldn't keep with them. And when I made that left, I just told you the story. Yeah. So in my fly back home, I tell my coach, if it wasn't for the cold, we would have maybe win, or at least not make 1 but 2 laps. So it was like, you know, like very angry. So that idea was kept there, you know, to get like that spine out of your heart. And every year, Steven, we will do at home some sort of a charity swim. Okay. So we decided that a charity swim in 2007, like 3 years after that race, it was like, okay, you know what? Biggest Dominican community outside the capital city of Santo Domingo is in New York.
Oh, really?
Okay? Yeah. There are much more Dominicans in Manhattan, Washington Heights, than in the second largest city of the country.
Wow.
Okay? You go up there, you don't need to talk English. So I said, okay, let's do a swim for the Dominican community. Okay. And then let's spread the word for all the immigrants everywhere, Latin America, around the world. And let's try to attempt to double swim if they allow me with a wetsuit, of course. Okay. And so that double around Manhattan was that idea in the airplane, because I'm finishing 7th when I thought I was competing with Dirks. Okay. And that became a very, very, very big event because they had a live TV to home. Yeah. It managed to have a hurricane coming at home. That means everybody had to be in house watching TV. So the ratings were very high by coincidence. Yeah. And it was impressive event. I couldn't say it in words how beautiful it was. We raised money for many charities, and I thought I was going to do the first lap at night, and I was going to be alone. And I remember my coach saying, "Wave to the sky, wave to the sky." And I said, "What's going on?" And the bridges were full of people with flags.
Really?
So when I would wave, it was because the bridges were full of people. And and it was very nice. That was a lot of people, especially when I decided to say I want to start in Washington Heights and finish in Washington Heights, what is called the Dyckman Marina. Uh-huh. And then the guys organizing the course and the permits for us are the same organizers of the swim around Manhattan. And they say, in Manhattan, you don't decide the day, you don't decide where and the time. And I said, I want to start in the afternoon and finish 16th of August, which is a holiday at home, patriotic day. And I want to finish in the same place. And they are impossible. So it was, I remember, I forgot his name. Morty Berger. Yeah. He's saying, oh, it's a waste of talent because you're going to spend a lot of time in the water and the result is not going to show you are fast. Yeah. I say, I don't care. I just want to start there and finish there. And of course, I pay the price 2 times for 2 hours, just treadmill in a couple of moments. Yeah. But it was beautiful that I was able to finish in Washington Heights in a full marina with thousands of Dominicans and people, and being able to finish. It was 22 hours, 40 minutes. It could have been faster if we decided to do it. Yeah. But it would make sense to go to Battery Park or anything like that.
Yeah. Oye, Marcos, after you did that, were you invited to throw the first ball in a baseball series?
I did actually, not then, but you know, Steven, after the inductee in
Los Angeles, Queen Mary,
in the Queen Mary in Long Island, in Long Island. Sorry,
Long Beach, California.
In Long Beach, the day after or the second day after, I was invited at the Angelinos in Anaheim.
Los Angeles Angels.
Los Angeles Angels in Anaheim. And you know, Albert Pujols,
yes,
Dominican baseball player. So he made the whole invitation and I threw it, wow. He catched it. And it was a very big thing.
Wow.
For him. Yes, it was beautiful.
Nice.
Yes.
For people who don't know, Angel Stadium is a huge stadium. I think 50, 60,000 people can be there. That's great.
Mm-hmm. It was funny that after I threw the ball, you know, baseball is huge in my country. Yeah. And all of the Dominicans players playing the Major League Baseball are very famous and all of that. So it was a very beautiful moment for Albert to say, come, throw the ball. And they announced it in the whole stadium. He catch it. And then, you know, it was very beautiful. And so after that...
It, Marcos? ¿La llegaste? ¿Sí la llegaste?
Sí. Actually, for baseball players, you know, if you throw the first pitch, it cannot bounce. Yeah. It's bad luck for the team who invites you. So usually they say, take a couple of steps forward. So I said, Albert, sorry, I have to, my friends are gonna, you know, kill me if I throw it like shorter distance. Yeah. So he just say, okay, aim to the lights. Don't aim to the so that, and then I did, they say, what? And then I catch it. Yeah.
Oh, good.
And then I'm walking in the stadium for the bathroom or anything, and everybody said, oh, weren't you the one?
Oh, wow. That's great.
That was fun.
Yeah. Now you also did 2 swims in your own country. So after you went to Tampa Bay and Manhattan and English Channel and Dubai and all these places, you ended up your career in 2 huge swims, I should say, in your own country. Can you describe those?
Yes, it all started, Steven, as I told you in the beginning, that in order for me to be allowed to compete, I couldn't sign in an event as small as it was, or as an amateur as it was. Okay, what have you done? Okay, I was a triathlete and then many 3K swims. I'm sorry, these are 40K events. I'm sorry, you're not allowed. So it all started with that swim at home. 2002 to be capable of, you know, and that swim attracted a lot of attention. Okay. So when I said, okay, now I wanna race, sponsors were not too excited about me racing. They would say, oh, what is the event? I say, oh, in Greece. Well, we better wait for your event here. So it was, oh, how do we raise money? So we started doing, okay, now I'm gonna do a swim here. And then all the sponsors will come in. So the beginning was, we need to do a yearly event to raise money to train and compete abroad. And when we had the sponsors to compete abroad, then it became like a one yearly charity event.
Oh, okay.
So for example, here in the North Coast, we did the Ocean Day, the like International Ocean Day. We did an event with the UN for awareness of the protection of the oceans. I did it was like a 20, not much of a 20 kilometer swim. But so we were scheduled like any long training session, we say, okay, that's going to be the event. Okay? And that event, after the first 3 years, was everything raised for charity. So the biggest was that we called an event for my country. I was swimming Gibraltar Strait with the world record in the double in 2005. And we were swimming all abroad. And I say, wow, let's do something for that people can see in present, not in the TV. And we decided to swim from our Boca Chica beach, very popular, like the most popular beach in our country that everybody gathers in the weekend. And they said, we'll do it in the Sunday, and we'll do around the coast to the city in the Malecon. And whoever knows what the Malecon is just like that front boardwalk in front of the most popular place in the city. And so it was very easy for everybody to watch.
Okay.
And the desire was, now I'm going to swim so close to the shore that you can appreciate what I do. And it's a way of thanking my country of all the support.
Got it.
Okay. And I remember weather was supposed to be calm and everything. And the hotel where we were going to start gave me like a third floor, a very nice ocean view. And my coach is preparing everything. And I immediately, a year before I was supposed to wake up, my coach is calling me. I think we're going to have to skip the ceremony. You know, in our countries, anything you do, if it's going to have people around, you're going to have the mayor, you're going to have the minister of sports, you're going to have like a ceremony. And my coach is, no, ceremony. Oh, come on. The ceremony is important. At least it's not for time. We can take the time. You have not looked into the ocean yet. When I look, waves. And I'm, oh my God. So it took me 10 hours and a half. The beautiful part was that everything was packed from start to finish, and the emotions, all TV channels went across and covering the event and interviewing people. And it's extremely emotional for me because my friends, and on the TV, you will see, for example, a public bus, like third world country public bus, okay? Stopping because all the passengers says, driver, stop, because he's swimming, we wanna stop.
Wow.
And then you will see a very luxury car stopping because they're going to the golf course, and they are all mixed people just saying thank you. Okay. I get very emotional. That for me, I was crying in my goggles to watching that. And of course, the wave bouncing and backwash through the reef. And my coach wanted me to keep close, and I wanted to go further out to swim calmer. But at the end, he paid the price. And it got very dramatic because we were supposed to finish like 5:30 p.m. because of the waves and all the bouncing, all the currents. I ended up arriving at night. So you can imagine Malecon full of people, live TV, and I'm coming out of the water at night. You had there the First Lady, Minister of Sports, the Mayor of the city, live TV with a big stage. And of course, that gives you energy coming out. Yeah. It was, I really enjoyed the whole thing. I was never in a crisis during the 10 and a half hours. Of course, thank God it was a soft spot that I knew a lot. Okay. And I knew how to because nobody could take me to the shore because of the waves breaking.
Yeah.
So thank God of that, because there's sea orange, and I knew how to align with the coconut trees and the building. So I made it out, and it was very dramatic that I'm coming up at night.
Yeah.
And imagine. And we are, I think my sports career got very popular here because it was always attached. You know, everybody knew a baseball player is good and they will make money enough for them and the rest of their 2 generations behind after them. And everybody knew our sports, you don't get paid much. So, and it's a great effort.
But you get interviewed by Steven.
Yes, that was a beautiful.
No baseball player gets interviewed by the godfather of open water swimming.
No, of course, I always say impressive personal satisfactions and team satisfaction. So people understood that, and people understood when we will do a swim and say everything is for charity, everything, nothing. We won't get 1 cent. We will get it from sponsor, but 1 cent. And when there was a meaning in all of those events, people started appreciating it. And that's what I think it got the heart of many Dominicans, and they were appreciating what we were doing. And then I got involved in trying to improve the life of the athletes at home, or sports facilities at the swimming complex, Olympic swimming complex in the city, you know, and that I think got the difference in between just even somebody who could make an Olympic medal and then get the heart of your country. So it was that, and that event, Steven, arriving in the city was like a confirmation of that, and we were so grateful, and I couldn't describe in words how beautiful that was to get that feedback from your people. That was for me very exciting, motivating.
Great. And then in 2010, you were voted the World Open Water Swimming Man of the Year, and that was great.
Yes.
You were honored as an honor swimmer in the International Marathon Swimming Hall of Fame. That was really. Are you still swimming or surfing?
Surfing, yes. I mean, actually, when I said, okay, I will retire, I remember I wrote to you when I said, Steven, I'm gonna retire. Of course, never from sports. I need to be active. And one of my major desires was, wow, I will get time to surf more. Because when I will train, and everybody who knows about training seriously, when you finish your training, as much as you wanna go surfing, you're supposed to be resting. Okay, so I missed a lot of good waves with my friends, and so it was taking more time to be in the ocean, being in the water. And Steven, I will never thought of going back to the pool at all until years later, I'm surfing and say, oh, I'm getting tired. I'm not supposed to be tired. And then I say, okay, I know I need to go back to the pool and do a couple of laps to make sure I keep my shoulders. But it's open water, and for the ones that are looking at us, I mean, for me is the best. I mean, it's something incredible. It's a lifestyle. I believe is so related to life. You wanna do something, and as individual as it looks, it's a team sport. You rely on your coach to feed you. If you don't get fed properly, you won't finish as strong as you are or as desired as you want. You won't finish. He will navigate. You don't navigate. It's him who navigates with the other team. And the variables, everything is flat. And you say, oh, you're going to do it in this amount of hours. And one of a sudden, you thought it was only 2 hours left. And they say, well, now back to 4 hours. And it's all about here. Then you don't depend on physical skills. It's all about here. And saying, okay, I was only waiting for 2 more hours. And now I'm back to 4 hours. Calm. So when you apply that to any project, life, work, is so related to open water. I mean, waves, currents, temperature, fauna. Is the best thing that, I mean, I cannot, I'm actually putting my 12-year-old to do the first, his first skate with me, right here in the north, swimming with me. The only part I didn't like is if he likes marathon swimming, then I will say, oh my God, I will feel now how my dad and my mom felt.
Oh, that's great.
What is the desire of them to understand what we experience in those ocean swims? That is humble experiences, great. You take a lot from there to apply in life. This is how I think.
Well, I'd like to end up, you can say this in Spanish, and let's say you had some little bit of advice to share with young people. What would you tell them in Spanish? And go ahead and...
En español, Steven, yo creo que el mensaje que yo siempre doy a los chicos y a todos es yo soñar, mantener la capacidad de mantener un sueño vivo, porque es donde comienza todo, to dream, because this is where it all starts, and to have the capability and enough training in your mind and heart and soul to keep your dream alive, because you wake up every day and have everybody shoot you with why not? Why aren't you capable of doing that? And when you see great achievements, you immediately think is somebody that has some either mental or physical abilities beyond you. And I say, I was put into swimming because of incredible chronic asthma that would take me to the hospital more than in school. So if I myself would think that because of the asthma, I'm unable to finish a marathon swim, it will be easy for me to just not do it. So to keep the dream, even if people say, oh, you won't reach the money to go to Dover, or you won't be able, oh, come on, you from here to compete with the Americans, with the Europeans, oh, no, forget about it. And to dream was what kept us looking at maps. And by year 2007, Steven, when we did the 2 laps around Manhattan, we were planning the next year, big event for charity. And I was like, 22 hours to go surplus that's a difficult one. And immediately we thought, okay, bigger doesn't mean more time in the water, doesn't mean more kilometers. Bigger means bigger impact. And that's when we created the Swim Across the Continents. Yeah. And with 4 open water crossings, none of the crossing was my longest ever. Yeah. Okay. But it had a meaning, it had a very big impact. And that's what we learned. And we couldn't reach that. And I'll go back to my message to your youth. If you don't have the ability to swim, to dream. Keep the dream alive. Of course, there's a price to pay. That's training, that's preparation, that's building a team. And I said in the end, and most important of all, because it takes a lot of sacrifices, is to enjoy it. Yeah. Enjoy every second. Even when you come out and you both know, you leave all, with like cut and all of that, you say, wow, nice. That's the best part of it. Enjoy it. Because it wouldn't make any sense if you in the end are not happy.
Oh, beautiful. Well, thank you very much for sharing just a little bit of joy and passion you have for the sport. Thank you.
Thank you, Antonio.
Muchas gracias, Marcos.
Un placer conocerte. He seguido
una extraordinaria entrevista. Déjame decirte que a lo mejor en mi negocio estamos viendo la posibilidad de trabajar con el Ministerio de Educación, y la primera pregunta que le hice a la persona Antón Tejeda, que es con quien lo estoy viendo, la primera pregunta que le hice es, ¿me aseguras que voy a tener donde nadar? Y bueno, veo que ya no le tengo que preguntar a él, si voy te voy a hablar y nos vamos a nadar, ¿eh?
Seguro, cuenta con eso. Antonio, qué placer conocerte. He seguido tu paso por la creación y organización del triatlón y de Aguas Abiertas. Te felicito. Cuentan conmigo. Steven igual. The same, Steven, I'm here. Anything I'm helpful or to work, and please let me know and say, please, my regards to all the team behind you, and express, I will do it in Spanish. Yo quiero agradecer a todo el que nos está viendo Esta persona, Steven, fue una persona que siguió mi carrera deportiva, que escribió sobre mí en los diarios de nuestro deporte, en libros de nuestro deporte, una persona que le aprecio, y en nombre de mi equipo y de mi país le agradezco mucho haber tomado en cuenta este humilde nadador en sus reportes y habernos sugerido para el Salón de la Fama, lo cual nos llenó de mucho orgullo. Thanks a lot, Steven, on behalf of my country, my team, and everyone for your interest in my personal and my sports career. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Antonio.